Wild pigs have been in the United States since the early 1500s and in Texas since the mid 1500s, and they are considered to be an exotic species brought in from Europe and Asia. And this particular species has established itself well throughout the United States, with some 46 states now with populations established. In Texas, unfortunately, we have probably the largest wild pig population of any state in the country, with about 2.6 million head. With pigs in Texas for the last 450 years, we're looking more at managing the damage those pigs cause and not necessarily eradication. And in Texas, we estimate that wild pigs do a conservative $52 million damage to agriculture alone, with landowners spending an additional $7 million to control the pigs or correct the damage that they caused. With this large population and this amount of damage that pigs can cause, and occupying some 90 to 95% of Texas counties, landowners need to be vigilant about watching for sign of wild pigs on their property, certainly watching for damage that they cause, and be prepared to manage that damage anytime it occurs. If you don't have wild pigs today, you could well have wild pigs tomorrow, because they can move great distances and establish new populations. Certainly our establishment of populations has been exacerbated by the trailering and release of wild pigs across the landscape in Texas over the last 30 to 50 years, primarily for hunting purposes. But yet this has led to increasing damage, as I mentioned, to agriculture across the state. Wild pigs at 2.6 million head in Texas, we're estimating we're removing about 750,000 wild pigs from that population annually, which represents about 29% of the total population. Unfortunately, in order to hold that population stable, we need to be removing between 50 and 70% of a population just to keep it from increasing. So we're falling short of that goal at the present times by the legal methods that we have of trapping, shooting, snaring, and the use of dogs. Part of the problem with the increasing population is the high reproductive rate that wild pigs possess. They're capable of producing a couple of litters a year, with an average of between 5 and 6 pigs per litter. This makes them the most reproductively successful large mammal found worldwide. So an increase in population is almost guaranteed any place they can establish in habitat that meets their requirements for food cover, water, and living space.